All right. A very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Dear guests, we are missing you on board, definitely. Dear future PONANT guests as well. Dear travel agents, dear media, press, welcome to this presentation of Le Commandant Charcot. We're about to start this discussion with two captains, Captain Garcia and Captain Marchesseau, and also the expedition leader, Jonathan Zaccaria, that I would like to say bonjour. And so we're going to wait a few moments before we start. But again, we would like to warmly welcome you to this presentation. We all four together with some other people just came back from the North Pole, and the ship is now, Le Commandant Charcot is now in Le Havre in France. And so it will be, we're very excited to do this presentation, this discussion with you. You know, we're going to talk about the ship, about the experience, about the itineraries, but we're also going to answer to your questions, as we are going to have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So I hope that you can hear us well, that you can see the presentation, and please keep the chat box open on your right-hand side. I have some recommendations before we start. First of all, be sure that the sound of your computer or your mobile phone is activated. We invite you to ask questions via the chat box on your right, and the answers will be given live via the chats, and several PONANT team members that I would like to say hello to are going to answer them live. However, I would like to advise you to stay tuned and listen carefully to the presentation, as I do hope that we will answer your questions during the presentation. So wait at least 30 minutes, I would say, before you ask your questions. And it is possible that the connection stops. This depends on the connections of everybody. So first of all, if it does happen, you just have to click on the red button, reconnect, at the top of your screen. And anyway, there will be a replay that will be sent to you tomorrow afternoon in case you have to leave or in case you have any issue with the connection. So this is being recorded, and of course you will have the opportunity to see this presentation afterwards from tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned during the whole presentation, even take notes, because a quiz will be sent to you tomorrow, and you might be able to win a surprise voyage for two and other gifts too as well. So again, I would like to welcome all of you, not only our dear guests, but also all travel agents, all media, press. We know you're also connected in the US, so good morning, in Canada, in Germany, in Switzerland, in Italy, in Spain, in the UK, of course, and in Belgium. So we have a lot of different countries in the Netherlands. So thank you for being there, and thank you for following this this presentation on this beautiful afternoon. So I would like to introduce the experts we have today, and we're really lucky to have two captains, one expedition leader to do this presentation. First of all, Captain Etienne Garcia. Please introduce yourself, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah, good morning, good evening to all of you. I'm very happy finally to be able to talk to you. We came back safe and sound from the North Pole, but before, I would like to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am a captain on PONANT cruises since 15 years, 16 years actually, and I started from the very beginning on the vessel which was called Le Diamant, directly in Spitsbergen, Greenland, and then following season in Antarctica. And I was definitely, you know, addicted to the pole. And it's now, let's say, my specialty, but moreover, my passion to sail, you know, among the ice. And I recently joined, joined the team of PONANT in the shipyard last spring. And I was a part of the team as a captain, bringing with the success, let's say, the Commandant Charcot in the North Pole. Actually, it was the first French flag vessel ever reaching the North Pole. Just something to say, is not only, let's say, to be proud of it, but just say that the success was a team spirit. This is what I want to say.
Yes, thank you very much, Captain. Captain Patrick Marchesseau, please introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. So we are pleased to be in touch with all of you again. And definitely we are waiting to welcome you on board this beautiful vessel. So regarding myself, I'm working in PONANT since 17 years as a captain. And I have 11 years experience in the polar regions, Arctic and Antarctica. And of course, as my colleague says, it's not a job, but a passion. Yes, when you to love the polar region and to share with you all the great moments regarding wildlife opportunity or scenery in the ice and so and so. So. Yes, we will be very pleased to introduce to you the Commandant Charcot, which is an amazing ship.
Thank you, Captain. And we can see you have the stripes as you are now in charge of Le Commandant Charcot, but it was Captain Garcia who was actually the captain for the first North Pole cruise. And you are now off, and it's Patrick Marchesseau taking as a master, as a captain for Le Commandant Charcot. Jonathan Zaccaria, expedition leader, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. So I've made 2 winters in Antarctica, some 15 plus years ago as a scientist. And then I became a guide working on ships. And for the last 10 years, I'm working in both polar regions and also as expedition leader. And I've been very pleased to be on board Le Charcot. It was my first trip to the North Pole. I was waiting that moment for years. And finally it did happen. And this ship will bring new opportunities to visit and explore very remote destinations. And when we look at some places on the planet where we can go with that ship, and we can see that some places have been visited by less human beings than the number of men that have landed on the moon. And with that ship, we will be able somehow to reach these places. So of course, I want to be part of it.
All right, thank you very much, Jonathan. So I just wanted to say that we are all excited to do this presentation for you. Again, we just come back from the North Pole, all of us, and on this powerful, comfortable, and smooth vessel, Le Commandant Charcot. So the introduction, we are going to talk about the experience of the high polar expedition voyages and the activities that we're going to organize as well on board and ashore. And we're going to see some of the itineraries, that we have a live Q&A session, and we will talk at the end about the quiz and the exceptional offer. First of all, let's talk about this jewel. Let's talk about Le Commandant Charcot and the exploration voyage at the heart of an exceptional setting. This ship is just an amazing vessel, exceptional design. The comfort is amazing. The power of the ship is amazing, and also very comfortable, and again, very smooth sailing. The length is just a little bit more than the LBS. When we say LBS, we talk about Le Boreal series, so our sister ships, 150 meters long. We have, so that's about 490 feet long, 28 meters in large, so 92 feet, 10-meter draft, 33 feet, and an average sailing speed of 15 knots. We have 122 staterooms and suites, so a capacity of up to 246 guests when the ship is full. And we have 215 crew members, so the ratio is just excellent for this type of ship. Of course, I'm sure, Commandant Garcia, you would like to say a few words about this beautiful jewel.
Yes, definitely. We have so many things to say. That it's an exceptional vessel, really unique in all aspects. Regarding the capacity, it's definitely let's say, is a cruise ship with an ice-breaking hull, which is a polar class PC2, which is almost at the top of the polar class. We are able we were able, in fact, to sail through very thick ice, above 2 meters, in order for us to reach, for example, the North Pole. This vessel is equipped by Azipod. We have about 17 megawatt in each side, which is one of the most powerful Azipod for ice. And we have two systems. We can break the ice ahead, and also we can break the ice astern. That's why we have a second bridge, which is also SRTP bridge. But let's go to the point. This vessel, which is also unique, is because it was built with a very high class in terms of vibration and noise, because our primary goal is to carry for cruise passengers in a place where nobody could go before. Polar class is what we have learned also from this, let's say, dry run to the North Pole, is how to sail, although that we have a very strong ship, how to sail in the ice, for example, in the leads, you know, using Mother Nature as an ally and not against us. Yes, really, I will talk more later about this vessel, but we were really amazed and very happily surprised by the performance of the vessel that provide us a very safe vessel sailing in the ice.
And the comments, of course, were that because we had on board some guests that had been 10 or 15 times to the North Pole and many times to Antarctica, and they were all saying the same. This is like so much comfort. And when you look outside, it was in such a remote area, and the word smooth sailing came a lot, you know, so that was very important. And I remember we had the US Coast Guards and the Canadian Coast Guards on board, and they said, we feel safe, and we feel that it's really comfortable as well. And I thought that these remarks were also very important. You have here a few pictures of the panoramic lounge, and the idea of the inside the ship, and our architects that are Jean-Philippe Nuel, that has worked with us for many years, and Villemot and Associés as well, was always to design to magnify the polar environment. And so you have from all the different lounges and even restaurants, dining rooms, you have really great view on the outside world. And you can see, for example, on the top left in the panoramic lounge, or even in the main lounge on deck 5, a great view. And the other nice part about the ship is that you can go all around the ship. This is 330 meters on deck 5, and so you can really do your walk a mile, but especially have a great view on the nature of the landscape. Of course, the theater for the recap briefings, documentaries, movies, lectures, and the staterooms that are all comfortable and all have balcony. We have amazing duplex suites, the owner's suite, that is also amazing. Have a look on the top left. You can see the Blue Lagoon. Now, the idea of the Blue Lagoon was really to have a panoramic view. On deck 9, you enjoy the ultimate privilege of an exceptional view of the ice floe. So you're comfortably seated around the giant brasero or in the heated outside pool, and you can enjoy every detail of this spectacular ice landscape. We tried it. There are 2 separate pools, and they are actually heated thanks to the extra energy that is produced in the engine room. So we don't need to produce any extra energy to heat the swimming pool, not only the outside swimming pool, but also the inside swimming pool. And then you have heated benches as well. So the technology of the ship is just amazing. And still on the picture top left, you can see the really very big terrace of the owner's suite. So again, the idea was like to recreate the Blue Lagoon atmosphere of Iceland. And I think that the idea is really reached, because you have 2 different temperatures on each bath, port and starboard side. And inside the winter garden is like just next to the spa. You have natural sunlight, great views. You can see at the back on the top right, great views on the landscape as well, and very quiet and comfortable with the detox bar. This is just an amazing ship inside. You have a snow room, you have a sauna, you have a massage room. So it's really an amazing place inside as well. A gem regarding the technology as well. And maybe Captain Patrick Marchesseau, you would like to talk a little bit more about what Captain Garcia was saying about this vessel?
Yes, there was a lot of research and development which has been conducting regarding this vessel in order to improve or even to minimize our impact regarding the environment. So first of all, this vessel is fitted with a new generation of diesel generator, a dual fuel engine generator, which is using either diesel fuel or liquid natural gas, LNG. And we were able to run this vessel from Svalbard to North Pole and come back to Norway only with on gas, 100% on gas, which means there is zero emission of particle and sulfur as well. And also we have, in addition of these two possibility of fuel, gas and diesel and DO, we have also some battery. This is the first passenger ship hybrid, which means on battery working, which is able to use also LNG and diesel. So we can combine, use as we want the three different solutions.
And on the battery, as we reached the North Pole, we were just on battery, so no noise at all and zero emission. That was amazing. Also, when we were seeing the polar bears, and this also, the fact we had absolutely no noise, permits the animal to come closer. Maybe you want to talk about the experience, Captain.
Yeah, yes. I mean, when we are on battery, we call the vessel is on zero emission. So we stop all the engine. And so the ship is capable to be only with electric batteries, on electric battery for more than 1 hour or two, between 1 and 2 hours, more or less. So it's pure silence. So
when we were together on the bridge, you said to me the fastest route is not the straight route, but sometimes you have like to go around to find the best route. And I think we have an innovation which is called Adrena. It's a French company that produces it, and it's like it helps us for the navigation routes. Is that right?
Exactly. Still in a research and development, which has been conducted for this vessel, we work with a company called Adrena, and this is a software in order to find the best route to sail into the ice according to the ice concentration, the ice thickness. And so instead to go straight in a hard ice condition, it's this software is capable, when we download the good information, of course, to find the best option to reach the North Pole with some opening water, some leads, and it was, of course, it's still in. We still improve it, but it's a very useful tool for navigation. And also we have a forward and a kind of a sounder, which is just in front of the bow. We deploy this when we are sailing into the ice, which is able to measure in real time the thickness of the ice. And we have this information straight in the bridge. And we also record all this information of the ice thickness according to the position, and can be used for scientific purpose later on as we want also.
I think it's important to mention already now that the ship is called Science Ready. So we have dry labs, wet labs. We had scientifics on board coming from all around the world. And they were quite amazed as they were doing presentations for us as well and introducing what they were doing on board with the buoys, with water measurement, with air measurement. And I think this was a very surprising part for all of us to see not only that they were really able to do their work on board and their research on board and their data, but also the interaction with us was really interesting. And they were also, all the scientists were very interested in our comments, in talking with us in the restaurants and so on. Maybe you would like to say a few words about that, Captain?
Yes, so what is important to understand then at the first step of this project, so which means 6 years ago, we already plan in the drawing to integrate some lab for the scientists to be able to work and to use this vessel as a support for their research. So there is a two lab, one weight lab, which has a direct access to the sea with a shell door, and there is a dry lab as well, where they can study with their computer and work in a very good condition. And we took opportunity of this dry run to the North Pole to invite some scientific on board, and we had several institutes came, and they came with already some tools, some drifting buoy to spread on the ice in order to study the drifting movement of the ice. Even they were able to conduct some measurement of the salinity of the sea and the temperature in the quite deep, between 800 and 1,000, almost 2,000 meters, in order to study the current and to learn a little bit more about all these areas, and we don't know how the current are going on. So, and they are very interesting by this vessel due to the fact that we are doing a repeat route. So it's a real good opportunity for all the scientific to use this vessel. Yes, and we are more than welcome. And it's a way to also educate our passengers regarding what we can do with the science, and to learn about all the polar regions in direct, in live, in fact. It's not through the media.
Yes, I think that's
very important.
About the education, I would quote Nelson Mandela, who said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And it's not only a matter of education, it's also, and I will quote now Sir David Attenborough, you need to show people how beautiful something is for them to want to protect it. And I think this is completely the point of Le Commandant Charcot as well. We learned so much. I want to say that, remember, PONANT, the company, was created by sailors from Brittany, from France. And so sustainability from day one was always the number one point. So we, for example, of course, do not use any plastic bottles anymore. You all receive a water bottle, refillable water bottle. And we were the first company in the world to abandon heavy fuel oil. Le Commandant Charcot is considered as super clean ship. So we go above international regulations. And in November 2020, PONANT was also voted the most environmental friendly company. And this is by NABU, Naturschutzbund Deutschland, the German reference in Europe concerning sustainability. So, of course, we have a foundation as well. And all our ships are clean ship certified. And we were the first cruise line to stop heavy fuel. All our ships have the MDO. And we go further because we can always do better. We're going to talk about the activities now. Jonathan, you want to jump in for the activities that we tried as well during this this North Pole cruise?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, we'll continue offering the classic activities we have on trips in the polar regions, like zodiac cruising or kayaking. But this time, as we will be surrounded much more by the sea ice and different conditions of sea ice, well, we'll take advantage of what we call the very open drift ice to offer zodiac and kayak activities, which is very, very still with small groups. And then as the density of the sea ice is getting higher and higher till, well, you can't drop any more kayak in the water or zodiac, well, the activities will change a little bit. And we'll have other options to take advantage of this new landscape that offer these voyages. So if you can switch to the next slide, Frédéric, please. You will realize that once the sea ice is getting thicker with Le Commandant Charcot, you can safely park the ship on 1 meter or 3 feet thick sea ice, even more, 1.5 meters or 2 meters, which is around 6 feet thick. It's extremely safe to walk on it. And I like offering hiking groups of different difficulties and levels, so that everybody can find its own way to explore this environment. And also by having a small group, you're closer to your guide that can provide you with explanations on the way, on the go. So we will discover the world of pressure ridges and hummocks and different thickness of sea ice, and we'll understand this new material. At the same time, we'll have 2 mountain guides on board, and they will take good care of you by offering snowshoeing activity. Basically, you're maximum 10 persons for one guide, which is also a very good ratio to escape a little bit from the ship and to be by your own. Depending on your own level, you can go a few hundred meters away, or maybe a kilometers or 2, which is around a mile away from the ship. That's going to be complete silence, a good way to enjoy Mother Nature. And of course, we'll have also what Captain Marchesseau mentioned very quickly, what we call participatory science. The idea is that we are going to spend 6 months a year in very remote places in the polar regions, which is a lot. And by our presence, we can measure things with you. So like the salinity of the sea ice, the temperature of the water, all these parameters. And also we can count the number of observations we're going to have at sea and on the sea ice with marine wildlife. We're talking about seals, bears, whales. We can identify the species. We can even take pictures of very specific patterns to identify not only the species but also the unique individual. And we can share this together, and we can do this together also. So that's an advantage of it. And just for fun also, we will offer something we have tested at the North Pole, and that's going to be a polar plunge that you can make from the sea ice and jump into a water which is actually below the regular freezing point, because seawater is salty. That's kind of fun. And for those who do not dare doing it, we have a second option to wear a dry suit and to take advantages in having a bath, like on the picture we see here on the top right in Nilas. Nilas, that's this very thin layer of sea ice on which you cannot walk because you're too heavy, but you can still enjoy a good time on these places. So I guess I'm not forgetting any activities we can offer. So we're going to be surrounded by a lot of sea ice, of course, and this is I find this work very exciting. This is my preferred activity, actually.
Yes, and we did live. I mean, the landscapes we saw were just amazing as well. We're going to talk about a few itineraries we will offer. So first of all, remember that PONANT was the very first company in the world to combine polar voyages in 5-star comfort, and we've been doing this for many years now in the north and in the south, in Arctic and Antarctica. And so we have the experience of these regions, and we also do them with the sister ships for many years. And the activities we organize as well are amazing, from kayaking to Zodiac cruising, from polar plunge that I tried. Someone had to try. We were like a dozen, I think, to try, and it was really great as well. And I think also what was great was the lectures of all the expedition team, the lectures of the scientists that were really very, very inspiring. And I learned so much during these lectures of the scientists and also of our expedition team. And I think the combination of the scientists and the expedition team is really something very strong on board Le Commandant Charcot. So further into the Arctic adventure, Le Commandant Charcot is to take you further than what we did before with our sister ships. So we would go to the wild coast of Greenland, East Greenland, Svalbard, of course, Spitsbergen, and also the Northwest Passage. Of course, the advantage of the Arctic is also to be able to meet the local populations, and everything we do on board Le Commandant Charcot is also with the local communities. We had, for example, the presence on board of 2 people from Greenland, and maybe Commandant Garcia, you want to talk about it?
Yes, let's talk about the itinerary, and yes, let's talk about the 2 Inuit that we had on board. It was very nice because we were used to go with the other ships far in the remote place of Kushortswak in northwest of Greenland, and we built a long relationship. It was not just to visit them like this and to organize our next visit. No, it was really during 15 years, every year we've been there, and we built a relationship. We grew up almost with them. We saw their children growing up. We invite them, because the idea is not only to visit them, it's to exchange. It's also, we always invite them, and it was always a surprise, because it's something very spontaneous and is really what the guests will like the most. So we brought them on board during this dry run, also because we learn a lot from them. You know, how to secure a tent on the ice, how to be able to walk on the ice safely. We had some knowledge, of course, but we learn, because on this kind of world we are learning every day. You know, we must be very humble. So it was really an added value and asset. Regarding the itinerary, here we were working closely with the company as the captains. So in the north, as you have mentioned, Frédéric, we go, of course, to the North Pole. This vessel was designed on the specification to reach, to break a thickness of ice in order to reach the North Pole. But we will do also departure from Iceland, all the northeast coast of Greenland, which is most of the time inaccessible due to the ice. We have been there during the ice trial, so it was a great experience near Belgica Banks. So the idea is to go crescendo early in the season, from Reykjavik to Scoresby, from Kaiser, you know, and then the second one a little bit more to Ile-de-France, etc., and then to finish in Spitsbergen before North Pole. For then it will be the opportunity to meet in Itokotormik, for example, the local people. On the south, in Antarctica, we are used also to sail over there with our sister ship, but with the Commandant Charcot, the Polar class will definitely allow us to go further south in a very unique places like Peter I, Beligosen on the western part, on the Weddell Sea, further south, maybe not to reach Larsen ice shelf. We should be very careful and humble, let's say. We will cope always according to the ice condition, but which is most important is this vessel will allow us to do a real expedition cruise. So day one will be there, day two, and in accordance to the ice, then we will seize the opportunity.
And Captain, may I ask, what is the advantage of doing Antarctica or the Arctic on Le Commandant Charcot compared to Ponant sister ships, for example?
Definitely, we will go in a place, first of all, it will be less crowded, definitely. We'll go in a place where you will have a different aspect, a more, let's say, polar atmosphere, surrounded by really pack ice, but also glacial ice. Let's say maybe we'll have the chance to see some emperor penguin. We will be early in the season, you know, like scattered penguins. So definitely, and I think it will be a surprise, because to be surrounded by ice is totally different than to go to a bay where we have a couple of growlers and bergibids. So it will be definitely a different experience. I cannot give you a word about this. I think it will be an experience to live. That's why you have to come with us.
Yes, but I would say also that the big difference is also the ship herself. Like compared to the, it's a different type of vessel, and really definitely powerful, although very smooth. I like to use the word smooth. And inside, like, it's really upscale. Decoration is amazing, and the service is upscale as well. I mean, it's just an amazing amazing.
Just Frédéric, to say about I think the people will be interesting to know that, of course, because it's a PC2, a polar class 2. We have, for example, in the bow 6 centimeters thickness. We have a huge ice belt as well. The frame, they are separated by only 40 centimeters, which is half a meter, less than a half meters. So it's a very strong vessel. It means safe. So also the ice trial and dry run now teach us that in fact we are able to cope with the ice in a safe way, and especially can let's say extract us in a bad situation if it's happened, because we have a strong vessel. So I think this is very important.
Yes, and I come back to this slide because we have a special itinerary now in a few weeks to watch the spectacular observation of the total solar eclipse from the Weddell seaback ice, and that's going to be a very interesting cruise as well. I'm going to go on with the sanitary protocol. As usual, you need to be completely vaccinated to be able to come on board and have a 72-hour negative PCR test. This is valid for all our expedition cruises. And there is also a medical questionnaire, declaration of health that you need to fill. On board, of course, all the different we are going to decontaminate all the luggage and the personal effects as well. During a cruise, exactly the same. We wear the mask just when we are eating and drinking. Otherwise, we have to wear the mask. And so the idea is to have really our bubble on board. And this has been working and successfully for us for the past year as well, since I would like to remind you that in the summer 2020, we did over 65 cruises. So that is something that we are looking forward to again, and I'm sure all the guests are really looking forward to coming back on board our vessels as well. And the crew members are really happy to come back and work for you as well. So again, the whole sail with confidence, I don't want to be too long on that. We are small ships, so it's also easier on that point of view. It's easy to book as well. You can book through your travel agent or directly with a PONANT. You know, we like the human part, so a travel agent is a person that you can meet, and she or he can really recommend you the best way because he or she knows you. So we like to work with travel agents, you know that. And so 25 deposits, and then the final payments would be 30 days before departure. And so this is a worry-free booking. For the guests, you have the phone calls, you have your travel agents, you have different agencies in Belgium, Switzerland, rest of the world, USA, in the UK as well, everywhere around the world. And now it's your turn. So if you have questions, and I know you have many questions, and we are ready for you to try to answer a maximum of your questions. I think we are now nearly 40 minutes in the presentation, so we can have some questions coming up. And if we don't have any questions, I would like to ask to all the four of you, or before the questions arrive, I would like to ask the four of you, what were your impression about this first North Pole voyage? Maybe Jonathan, you want to answer first?
Yeah, absolutely. My first impression was the fact to be on a ship which is extremely strong, and as you have mentioned many times already, very smooth in that very thick sea ice, because very often in the past we have been stopped by these kind of ice conditions, and it is very frustrating when you see, for instance, something interesting a little bit beyond the marginal zone, which is the open drift ice. You can't go through. Here you can go a little bit further away, so that's very exciting. And my best memory on board was when I was waiting to go out the shell door when the door opens to the exterior. And instead of looking at the ocean, I was just looking at this infinite landscape of just sea ice, and we were preparing for creating hikes and snowshoe activity on the sea ice. And so that was very special to see just all around till the horizon, nothing else but sea ice. So that was something.
Captain Garcia, maybe you want to say it's hard, right? This exercise is quite hard, but what did you think about this this experience for you as a captain to reach the North Pole on the very first ever French vessel to reach the North Pole?
Yeah, but of course, we were proud of it. Definitely, I could not say the opposite, but moreover, as I said at the beginning, it was really a very, let's say, a lot of serenity and also a good satisfaction that we could bring this beautiful weather with a very nice team spirit. What I will remember, of course, is when you drive to the North Pole at the last miles. You try to, of course, to catch the 90000 degrees, and it's a difficult exercise. I knew that. I took 3 times, and finally I reached 3 or 4 decimal 90 degrees. So I think it was like a super goal. So yes, it was. I will remember it forever.
Yes, and again, it was a great human adventure. Everybody's working together. I have to mention people in the new building department, like Mathieu Petitot and Luc de Camus and all their teams. They did an amazing job for that, and it's true. It's just amazing. For me, Captain, the beginning of the journey was like to meet the scientists and hear their presentations. I thought that was very inspiring, and again, I learned a lot. In the evening, we had the Aurora Borealis, so we had the Northern Lights. So that was something amazing as well. And like the nature was giving us gifts. Like we saw about more than 10 polar bears in our voyage. We saw a blue whale. We saw narwhals. We saw belugas, so white whales. And it was just amazing. There are no rainbows. It's like a halo, like a white something that appears in the sky that is just amazing. And on our way back, this polar bear just came to us, and you were going like so smooth, and everybody, thanks to this amazing ship, could see the polar bear really near, and the ship was not doing any noise. We're not doing any announcements on the outside decks. So I think that was really something that will stay in our mind and hearts forever. Because and then the other part that I really liked was everybody was from different countries, like the scientists as well, and everybody was working together. And I thought, it's a nice thing for the world, or to show the world that yes, there is like in Taros, there is like a integrated Arctic observation system. It's 45 partners from 20 different countries: Asia, China, Russia, North America, Europe, and yes, they all work together to collect data and to try to have as many information as possible, because something they said was that Arctic is undersampled to fully understand and monitor its rapid change. So data is needed in the Arctic to understand the future of the world and its past as well. Commandant Marchesseau, if you are with us, maybe a few words on your experience of this North Pole, if you are with us.
Yes, yeah, I'm here. One thing which is, as you say, Frédéric, which was important for me, due to the fact that the ship is massive, she is powerful. We were a bit worried about the wildlife will react. What behavior will have the wildlife according to the vessel when we will try to approach. And finally, we discovered and the wildlife is not afraid at all, because we had so many opportunities, as you said, to see some polar bears, and we still have to remember that we are the guest in this kind of polar environment. We invite ourselves, we are the witness, and we maintain a good distance from this wildlife. And at the end, we noticed that all the polar bears, almost all of them, they were curious, and they came very close to the vessel. They were not afraid at all, and there is so many open decks on this vessel between the alley deck on deck 6, or the promenade on deck 5, or the outside of the observatory lounge on the deck 9. So everybody can spread on the open deck without any problem. Everybody has the opportunity to see and to be the witness and to really enjoy this kind of National Geographic show, you know, on the ice. So this is definitely this is a great souvenir of this trip, and the ship is really excellent for wildlife watching.
Yes, thank you, Commandant Garcia and Jonathan. Maybe you can switch on your cameras for this Q&A session. It's going to be nicer, and Commandant Marchesseau, stay with us. I have a few questions. Will the guest have the access to the bridge like on the other ships?
Yes, we have with the captain. I will reply. I'm sure that some of you were thinking who will be the captain. In fact, it will be us. You have the two captains in front of you because we will have a rotation of about 2 months on, 2 months off. Sometimes you will have even the possibility to have both of us, because we decided to learn
for the same price without any extra charge.
Yeah, because you know we have to learn quickly, and so sometimes we decide to be together. No, the access of the bridge, of course, we are both of us very willing to welcome you, but as the bridge is large, it's quite noisy. It will be very important that by small group you will have to respect this area, which is a professional area, a place where we are, a walking area, sorry. And so with some, let's say, how to say, rules, you will be more than welcome, but with some rules.
A good behavior, good behavior.
Good behavior, yes, good behavior. But we know that from a lot of you like also to share. I think it's a plus to have sometimes the possibility to access. So yes, we will arrange for that.
Yes, definitely. And I have some other interesting question. And are there any staterooms for disabled guests on board? And yes, there are 3 on board the Commandant Charcot, like on all our ships except Le Ponant, our small sailing ship. So there are 3 ADA staterooms that are very close to the lift as well. And so it's for any kind of disability, just that if you are stuck to the wheelchair, then it's a matter of safety. Captain Marchesseau, is that right?
Yes. I mean, due to the fact that we go to some extreme remote area for safety reasons, we had to set up a kind of a limitation regarding disabled people, unfortunately. And there is a scale, which is an official scale from 1 to 10, according to your disabilities. And we set up a range to 4, which means we accept people who are able to walk with a stick, but not with a wheelchair on board, unfortunately.
Yes, so if you are able to go up and down like 10 stairs, you can do a cruise with us. Absolutely no problem. You can join us in the voyage. And I would like to say that I just checked on the on our website, and we have for guests that are traveling alone, we have at least 3 departures that are without single supplement on the Commandant Charcot, because we sometimes have the question as well. What is next after the Commandant Charcot? What is next? Yes, we have plans, but maybe we're not going to tell them.
I think we will calm down.
Yes.
I think we will calm down, and of course the company has always a lot of projects, but let's focus on this challenge, which really will occupy ourselves, and we already deploy new itinerary for this year and next year. So we may change. We may also have others, but we need to be to get all this itinerary, to mature all this itinerary, to continue to offer you a nice experience. So let's take time, as we will do during our cruise. We plan with my friend Captain Marchesseau to also offer you long call. I mean, we will stop for a day, not trying to do too many things at the same time, because quality, it's time is quality.
Yes, and of course, I would like to mention that the priority for the company, of course, is now to have all our ships running. And we have more and more requests of charters as well, because our ships, due to the size of the ships, they are just perfect for full charters. So I would like to mention that as well. It can be for birthdays, for companies, for different events, for weddings, and so on. Remember, we now have 13 different ships, including Le Paul Gauguin in French Polynesia. So we do have a lot of opportunities for charters as well. Maybe I will talk about the exclusive offer. So we offered you for 1 month 5% discount on all new bookings, and this is combinable with other offers and advantages. Tomorrow you will get a quiz to be able to win a surprise cruise for 2, as well as other gifts. And tomorrow afternoon you can see this presentation again. You will receive the link for the replay, so you can share it with your friends and colleagues. And we'll organize a new presentation soon. Of course, we will let you know. We're going to slowly end this presentation. Remember that PONANT is a company by human. It's like a small family. So we like the human part. We miss you on board. We do miss you. And we really hope wherever you are around this world that you will very soon join us. Remember that nature is the one deciding. So I'm not going to say this Greenlandic proverb, because only Nicolas Dubreuil can say it in the right way. And of course, our friends from Greenland. But it's always the elements. It's always the nature that decides. And I don't know if you want to say a last word, Captain Garcia.
Yeah, we know that we have all passed a very difficult time, and definitely Le Commandant Charcot, it's a hope, let's say, is a symbol for all of us, and we hope that we will start as soon as possible. Definitely, we hope this winter. So we are really, all of us, really very excited to welcome you on board. We can't wait now.
Commandant Marchesseau.
Yes, I fully agree with my colleague. I was trying to think, to count for how many months I didn't welcome any guest on board. It's probably 15. So we are so impatient to welcome you on board Le Commandant Charcot. You will discover this amazing vessel, and especially to be back in the polar region where we have so many great moments to share with you. So, yes, let's come.
Merci, Commandant. Et Jonathan? Jonathan, you want to say a few words? Maybe Jonathan
He's
can.
Frozen.
He's frozen, yes.
Frozen. Oh,
he did a polar plunge and he's frozen. Well, thank you very much to all of you for being here today. And of course, there is a replay. So if you cannot follow it completely, you can see it.
Yeah, sure.
Online.
So I'm very happy.
It's a wait.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead. No. Okay, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you very much to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for following us, and we do hope to see you again very soon on board. Contact any.
Okay, so sure, I've had the great opportunities to work with. Can you hear me well now?
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Okay.
We are live. Vas-y, Jonathan. Go ahead. Well, it's okay. All right, thank you very much to all of you. Au revoir, merci beaucoup et à bientôt. Au revoir, Commandant, merci beaucoup. Thank you, Captains. Thank you, Jonathan.
Merci
and thank you to all the team of PONANT, and thank you for the team answering to the questions live in the chat box. Thank you, Marion, and to both Marions. Thank you, Amélie, and thank you to all of you. And thank you, Captains, for taking me to the North Pole. That was amazing, safe and sound, as you said. Amazing human experience with the scientists on board and with the entire team. It was just an amazing voyage that will be always in our mind, but also in our hearts. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt.
À bientôt.
Au revoir. À bientôt.
Au revoir.